And welcome to Intelligence Racing League, the round 2, I believe, of the Division 3 Championship. You're joined by LOE Mark, coming live and direct from the cold, dark and miserable United Kingdom. And it looks kind of similar in Vietnam. Is there any rain here? I'm not sure. Very strange. We got a dry race. Jordan's let me know, which was very kind of him. And yeah, we're looking forward to getting this underway here today. So we have WCR Crown Plays going out on the main streets of Vietnam. Is this going to be a bit of a unusual qualifying session? Is there going to be any rain? Is there going to be some rain dragging in towards the end? That's what I want to know. Predictions in the chat. How many wings are we going to lose here today? I'm going to say quite a few. Many different tracks and many different corners that can actually do this. And talking of binning it, I'm going to have to leave you for 10 seconds because I have a new bin for my kitchen arriving. Not that any of you care, but I'm going to have to answer the front door and take care of this package. It's a sensor-based bin, don't have to touch it, nice and germ-free. And I will get on to the more serious business. Bid is secured. Right, back to the serious business of watching WCR Crown Plays go around the mean streets of Vietnam. Takes a nice... Oh, he's invalidated there, which I think is a little bit harsh. I don't think that's very fair at all, to be honest. Let's have a look at the Renault. I think we've got Stephen coming round to start his lap. Let's have a look at what he's saying. Jack feels like he's driving around with sunglasses on. It is very dark out there. It is not ideal conditions as we follow around Stephen to start his lap. So yes, very interested to know any kind of predictions for the race today. People having to turn up their brightness. Absolutely brilliant. So we're right on board with Stephen. But Original Civi is your leader. He picked up 26 very important points here. Swem is in second. WCR Crown Plays in third. Syndro in fourth. Atapa fifth. Danny Boy in sixth. Kyle at seventh. United Bosnia in eighth. Philippe in 9th, Jordan in 10th, Jav Maverick, Stewie, Vapor Josh, Brandon, Formula Matt, Sandrew, One Xavier, TTG King J, Brent Bulabajobi, didn't say that right, INL Nils, Leon, Libanau, Zavi Corbo and Craigie ride out the rest of the results. So obviously we need to look out for some of these guys. Stephen G goes over the line. Nils with a cracking lap. Fantastic effort there. As we have a racing point coming over the line. I think that's to start his lap, unfortunately. So only 3 laps set so far. Very unusual. Anyone just ask where the pit entry is. This guy has done absolutely the square root of nil of practice, and this is not a track you want to be doing that on. So United Bosnia coming round for a 36.9. Not a good lap from him. Normally quite pacey. I would imagine he would do quite well in this division. Swem. Oh, we got Swem goes pole. Fantastic lap. And we've got a retirement as Stewie puts it on the mediums really well. Yeah, not really a flying lap. Flying lap in the looser sense of the word there. Grimjaw Jagger, one of the new drivers, we're looking to race on a Saturday night, and he is coming through, and he will do a 36.1. The line's so much further back than you think. You think it would be quite near the last corner, but it does trick you. It kind of plays tricks on your eyes. It's a lot further on the straight than you would initially think. As we ride with TTG King J. Some of the drivers in TTG should be fairly quick. Not known for their slow drivers, as he gets a 35.1. That slots him into third. Sawem is in a class of his own at the moment. Original Civi, he's on these mediums. This isn't going to be a bad lap for mediums. 36.4. Fantastic effort. I think I just missed it. Tarpa going over the line there in fourth. Formula Matt has left the session. Jordan is, well, he's out without a punch. Philippe has crashed on his out lap. No one knows where the pit lane is. It's getting a bit messy. So yeah, don't really know who to follow right now and who's on a lap and who's not. It's a bit messy out there, a bit uncoordinated. Really tricky pit entry here, very easy to overspeed into it, particularly if you don't know where it is. Not the easiest of tracks to know how to get into this pit, so it will be tough for the guys. I mean, Sawem, he's in second in this championship. Original Civi, yeah, it doesn't surprise me that he's done such a good lap on those mediums. Interesting to see what people are doing. Kylet seems to be jiggering around like he's in a lift. It's actually not nice to follow. I'm not epileptic, but it's making me feel it. I might have to have a look at his connection there. Not the best. Original Civi comes into the pits. So it's a long lap round here. We've got Stephen G on his out lap. Kylet starting his lap. Let's just see if we can find one of these McLarens. Bosnia's not on a lap. I think that was it's Felipe. Felipe is on an out lap. So struggling to find anyone that's actually doing anything in anger really, other than Kylet. We've got Crown Plays who's invalidated again. Oh, Maverick just caught him knocking off his wing plate there. That's not a good look for him, and that's going to be a right struggle. It's through sector 3. That's going to make it just a completely pointless time really. Missed a lap there from somebody. I do apologise. It might have been Kylet. No, it wouldn't have been Kylet. But yellow's in sector 3 with no one there. That's interesting. No idea how that's occurred. Stevens on his out lap. Let's ride on board with Kylet because he seems to be, as painful as it is, he seems to be doing something. The reds between the Alpha and the Ferrari are not as pronounced as last year. I can't say I'm particularly enjoying commentating over that. Quite hard to tell the difference. So Jav has ended up damaging his wing. Kylet has pit? Has he got any kind of wing damage or something? I'm not entirely sure. Nils, is he starting a lap in anger? He is starting a lap in anger. He's going for it. Quite a few will be coming around now. United Bosnia. Brandon on an out lap. Stewie on a out lap. Felipe is coming round. What's he going to do? This looks like a 37 to me. 5, 6, 36.5. I think it's time to... It's interesting, a few guys obviously thinking that they can... Oh, Crown Plays goes pole. Missed that. Great lap from him. What a great lap. 34.4. That's a good lap round here. That's no mean feat. Really good lap from him. Alt Maverick in 7th. We've got Jav on his out lap coming round. We have Stephen G, who is majorly up. He's looking to climb above Alt Maverick here, I would suggest, up into 7th. Can he do it? Just needs to keep it clean around here. D-rates around there, and he does. He goes up to 7th. Very good lap from him. Nils is looking good. Nils is looking tidy. Improves, but not good enough to trouble the front two, who do look in a class of their own right now, to be completely honest with you. TTG King starting his lap. Got a McLaren. Is that Brandon? Yeah, Brandon's coming round on these mediums. Runs very wide. Gets away with it and just sacks it off. Probably a good idea. Nils will be just... Bosnia on an outlap. Crown Plays comes into the pit. So yeah, it's a case of us having a look of where everything lies now. Crown Plays obviously in pole, and we're just looking for a last sparkle from somebody. Quite impressed and intrigued to see the last flying laps from Siwem and Crown Plays, potentially Nils too. But yeah, we'll have to see. What I do know is that Jav and United, and Bosnia and Stewie and Brandon going to have to do something here. They're not looking too pretty. Original Civi going up into 3rd. That's a good sign for him. He needs to stay close to the top to Siwem in what looks to be the very beginning of a marination of a title battle, which will be very cool to see. No one seemingly doing any kind of slipstream business, which I have to say I'm very pleased about. I'm not necessarily the biggest fan. Bosnia going slightly quick, but not massively. Have to keep an eye on him over the line, but I'm very intrigued to see Utapa, who has had a Western Supermare, and he's going to bin that, and he will have another run. Bosnia should... Well, I'll tell you what, Bosnia's going to have to get a move on to get back round to get another lap in. This isn't looking too stellar. This will be a 35.6.3. Moves them up to 11th. Start 11th, there are definitely worse places, but there's probably a lot more movement in this than what it looks like at the moment. We've got a Mercedes running, and that's Jav, who is on a lap. No, he's binned his wing off again. This man is going through more wings than KFC, and that is not an ideal situation for him. So it's almost like the noise of Formula 1 cars when it goes past, isn't it? Do like that name. He's looking alright, and he's going to do his outlap. Crown Plays is going to do his outlap, but he's invalidated his outlap. That won't matter unless he does something super wrong, and then it might carry over. Brandon's coming around. This needs to be, yeah, he's starting his lap. So this will be his last shot. He will not get another shot in. I think the same for Leon and Crown Plays. So Crown Plays does get his lap back. So M goes purple in sector 1. Crown Plays, he's behind him. There's a couple of cars in between. If I miss anybody, I do apologise, but definitely keeping an eye on Suem here, because this is a pole lap in the making, I feel. Really solid pace. So Jav had 2 purple sectors and has still managed to bin it. Not ideal from the organiser there. Another purple. So M is a man on a mission. Yeah, I think that Renault's going to be... He's not on a lap. So M is half a second up. This could be a 33, and if it's a 33, that is an incredibly connected lap. He's coming round. It looks quick, doesn't it? It looks really quick. Oh, he's knocked the wall. That's not going to help matters. Ah! Nightmare. He's completely bottled that. He's completely bottled it. Absolute Western Supermare there as Brandon comes round. This will be valid. This will be his only shot at it. And it's going to be a 36. It's not going to be very good. It's 36.4. Needed to improve there. As we got WC Crown Plays coming through. And he does a 34.1. I think Sewem was beating it. I really do. I think Sewem has thrown pole away there. And it will be interesting to see if he's actually messed anything up. Grimdor Jagger. We've got Stewie. And those mediums. I mean, I don't really get that. I'll be honest, I don't really get it. I think he could have very easily just stuck on the softs and just tried to get 11th. It's just pain for the sake of pain. Really going around on the mediums. You want to try and just get that 11th place. Niels is coming round now. Niels has got all his wings intact, which is a good start. This looks quick. Feints to the outside. Oh, he's knocked the wall slightly, but it doesn't matter, and he jumps Sewem. Oh, that's big. That is very big. Stephen coming through. This looks to be a 35, I would suggest. He jumps up to 6th. Great lap. Got the Mercedes Maverick coming round. Start his lap. TTG King is this. He's starting his lap. Got original Sevi coming through. Original Sevi is retired. So United Bosnia are in that 11th place still. That will do him very nicely. He will not complain about that. We have... Well, I'm not entirely sure Felipe is on an out lap. Is he going to get there? Is he going to get there? It's going to be very tight. Niels has given up. Oh, he just gets there, doesn't he? Just gets there, Felipe. So he will be the man over the line that we will focus on after. What's Jav doing? Jav has all his wing. That's a very good start. He's invalidated it. That looked really harsh to me. And he's going to start at the back with Jordan. At least Jordan had the chance to just go have a drink and do what he needed to do. So who's coming over the line now? I think it's going to be... Is that Niels? No, it's not. We've got a Mercedes in Alt Maverick. There seems to be some damage flying around there. Alt Maverick is going quicker. And that's going to jump him up to 5th. Great lap from him. Otapar. What can he do? He could potentially crack the top 6 here if he does anything half decent. 4th. Wow. Very good last sector from him. Neil's coming over. Oh. Not a good lap from our man there. Formula Matt invalid. So Felipe will be the last man over the line. What can he do? I'm suggesting this is going to be fairly cool. Oh, it was potentially looking really good. And he would have got 3rd, I think. Sewem's got away with it. He's dodged a bullet. Yeah, I thought that was really unfortunate that was invalidated, Jav. You look to have 2 wheels over the line. But that's our order. So we've got Crown Plays, who is at risk of making this an incredibly boring race for me, so I'm not too happy about that. He's well over half a second clear of Niels in 2nd. Sewem in 3rd. Utapa in 4th. Felipe 5th. Original Civi 6th. Alt Maverick 7th. TTG King in 8th, Stephen GEFC in 9th, MWRL Kylet in 10th, Grimjaw Jagger in 11th, United Bosnia in 12th, Leon Brandon Formula Matt, Stewie Jav and Jordan. Now, I know Jav and Jordan aren't particularly slow, but they're going to have a world of traffic. My suggestion would probably be to anyone right at the back of the field, strap the hards on, do a one stop, hope for a late-ish safety car, and then bolt on those mediums. That would be my thinking if I was right at the back, so I could just travel along with everybody without having the need to overtake around this very difficult circuit and kind of follow along in a train. But I am not the oracle of Formula 1. My strategy choices are invariably bad, so don't listen to me too much. So I ran through the order. A wealth of flags there, the top 5, all from different places. That's British, Belgian. Is that Luxembourg? It's a bit lighter. I think he's trying to trick me. We'll go with Netherlands. Oh, this one always gets me. I think that's Slovenia, not Slovakia. I think Slovakia's got some mountains on it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Felipe, the German, in 5th. We've got America in 7th, who has done very well here around the Vietnam 500, getting over the end zone in 7th place. Can he score a touchdown in this race? Really intrigued to see the tyre choices for this. I think it could be... I think we're going to probably see 3 different compounds, as it is a lot brighter. Turn your brightness down on that formation lap, lads, because you are not going to be needing it up to 100 here. It is a lot lighter on our virtual Sunday than it was on our virtual Saturday. I'm going to say something controversial. I'm going to predict none of the top 3 come in the top 3, just to spice it up. If I was to pick a winner, might have to say... Well, it's not going to be Alt Maverick, because Americans never do very well at Vietnam. We know that from history. I don't know. It's such a weird track, this. It's just about getting around in one piece. If I had to, let's go with 4th. I don't even know who is 4th, but I'm going to predict them to win this race. Tupper, why not? Oh, he's Haas though, and again, Americans don't do. Let's go with Felipe. We'll go with Felipe. Crown Plays is going to be the man to beat though, and I don't wish any ill on him, but he looks dangerously quick, dangerously to the point where this affects the entertainment of this race. The pit stop strategies, well, it's saying it's 2-stop. I mean, I believe it. I believe you can 2-stop here. So, right, okay, Bosnia is... It's a brave man that does pit the hards on in the middle of the field though, because you could so easily snap a wing. So he's put those hards on. I don't think it's a bad idea if you can get away without the damage. Jav didn't want to go on the hards, but I'll be honest with you, there's worse situations. Stevie's on the softs. I'd much rather be on the hards in 17th than on the softs in 16th. I'll tell you that for free. You know, the right play safety car, United Bosnia and Jav might well be the only 2 that benefit from it. You've got to think of that. You can one stop here on medium to hards, I know that to be true. It's a tough one. I'm pretty sure, I mean, unless someone's got really good tyre wear, maybe a soft hard is actually viable here, as it shows us again, you're not going to go soft hard, soft AWS. Stick to parcels, Amazon. You're good at delivering those, particularly bins on a Saturday, but no, give the strategy game up. Leave it to the pros. Williams Alpha Haas front four. Not something we're probably used to, or probably will ever see again in the reality of Formula One. But yeah, that's an interesting lineup. Looking forward to. Oh, give me a decent camera. Okay, there we go. That's a lot better. So here we go. We are about to be heading off here for what I imagine is going to be quite painful for the majority of people. We've got 2 DSQs. I'm guessing that's a anomaly. Got a man with a yellow flag in the background going nuts with it. Good lad. We've got 5 lights. And we're off. Crown Place seemed to get a good start. It's the second phase that matters, and I'll tell you what, Nils has struggled really badly. Steve, oh, it's done it, hasn't it? Crown Place going into the... Oh, and there's contact with the Haas. The Haas gets through just about. Utapa, I believe that is. Utapa run really wide. There's chaos in the midfield. I can't really follow it thanks to this gorgeous situation where it completely messes the field up for the first sector. All sorts of chaos. There's been a few people left at the back there. And we have Crown Plays leading us. Oh, there's a big dive there from Nils. Nils is round. Oh, and he's taken a few people with him. There's absolute chaos here. It could be a safety car. Not knowing what's going on there. Nothing. We've got normality. It's all kicked in. TTG King right there now. Right alongside. It's going to have to give way. United Bosnia slipping down. Still got all his wing though, so not bad from him. Nils down in 14th, he's a big casualty. Jordan doing well in 15th. Jab in 16th, who does present all of his wing, so he's in a very good spot. Oh, and Formula Matt has just sent one from way back on Nils, and that's a really good fair play to him. He's waited. Lovely to see. Good man. TTG King gets through Alt Maverick now. Ooh, someone's wing just went. Was it Felipe's? I think it was Felipe's. He's in a dire place now. Not good for him. That's going to be a pit. Grim Jagger. Yeah, Felipe's in dire trouble. What's he done? He's stopping. Oh, he didn't know where the pit lane was. That's... Blimey, that's so dangerous. I've no idea what's gone on here. We've got this situation again, haven't we? He's playing tricks with us. Crown Plays in the lead. I'm really sorry about this, guys. It's just really horrible to follow. I have to go by the main camera. He's got a big lead there. The front four have really broken. Doing fantastically well. And when it's all kind of packs back up again, we've got Alt Maverick, Felipe and Formula Matt in the pits. And that is not good for them at all, at all, at all. People coming around this carousel-esque corner. Really hard to nail there and get your exit spot on. Tarpa under pressure here from Suem. I think for some reason it's put Nils a lap up, so that is incorrect. Definitely some glitches going on in the lobby, and it's moved Nils back down, thank goodness. Goodness, that's given us some semblance of normality. The front four definitely are breaking from Kylet and TTG King, Stephen G on the back of Leon, and then we've got United Bosnia following it around under those mediums. He's in a really good spot. I really like his play. Very nice. And Jab also in 13th, doing incredibly well. On for some good points today, I feel. Maybe not necessarily a podium, but it depends on that safety car. It really does. Suem now really looking to put pressure on Utapa, get away from his early title rival, Original Civi. Different lines through there. I have to say I probably preferred Utapa's. Midfield is looking really juicy. Big gaps here. Might be a bit of a Bosnia train, potentially, that could form behind with George and Jab. But then again, you know, they're not on the quickest tyres. Stewie has had an absolute flyer. Can we just talk about that? Up 7 places. Leon up 6. Fantastic effort. And also Kylette up into 5, up 5 places, which is not bad. Alt Maverick, Felipe, Nils and Formula Matt are the victims so far. And they can probably go medium actually. It's probably not affected them terribly. Oh, as Suem makes the move on Itapa, missed that one out. Itapa looking very messy on the exit. Stephen not having enough to be able to get a move done on Stevie, who seems to have had some connection issue potentially. Not entirely sure. United Bosnia doing really well to stay with Grimjaw Jagger. Really great effort. Kylette and TTG King taking it to the streets. Original Civi. Original Civi is pits. Very early pits there. Might be some wing damage for this young man here. Interesting to see where he comes out. Stephen G. United Bosnia's got round Grimjaw Jagger. Looks to be clean. Doesn't seem to have any damage. And it's a very unusual place. And I'm guessing Grimjaw's kind of had a bit of a moment there. And United Bosnia keeps the place. Very well done from him. He's doing fantastic on those hards. Really well placed. Jabba's lost some ground, but none of his wing. Grimjaw Jagger now on the back of United Bosnia. Not looking to do anything just yet. We've got yellows in that back sector. Maverick, Felipe kind of area. Nothing doing, it seems, as Kylette now really putting the pressure on TTG King. Will be interesting to see if he can get anything done here. Can't. No, not quite there. The gaps are small. Stephen, what is going on with this? Stephen and Stewie are in a... They don't seem to be synced up to each other particularly well, as we've got all these guys coming round in the back with the Bosnia, Jagger and Jordan crew. Battling's kind of helping Jab kind of back into it. Civi comes out in 13th. He's gone for a very big undercut. As Jordan gets past Grimjaw Jagger. Has Jagger got damage? Yeah, he does. Jagger's got some damage, so he's going to have to pit. He's going to have to consider what he does. Doesn't pit. Interesting. Well, I'll tell you what, fair play to you lads. You've got all 18 of you running. There's disconnects everywhere, it seems, at the moment, which is not particularly ideal. I think Brandon might well have just up sticks to the left, as Stewie and Stephen are just doing this time trial ghost battle, really, is what it is. It's hard to kind of commentate on that kind of stuff. As the big battle really is for 4th, I think, between Kylette and TTG King up the front of the field. Suem's doing incredibly well to keep up the ground plays based on that time difference. Really well done from him. And I tell you what, he's got a lot more errors, so he's doing even better than what's even suggested, so fair play. Bosnia's tyres are going to start coming into his own. If he can keep Jord off him for just a little bit of time, you'll find that... Ooh, and Kylette nearly running into the back of TTG King. He just needs to be a bit more patient. Jord with that DRS wide open. He doesn't look for a move. I think that's wise. It's such a tight corner. You have to get the overlap done before that corner, because if you don't, it's so tight that you just can't go two abreast. It's impossible. So no SC so far, but what you'll find is sometimes if you're at the back of the field, it's easy to lose concentrations. Talking of losing, we've just lost the deltas, which isn't particularly handy. Oh, we've got a virtual safety car. Someone, Java's DNF'd. I mean, how that's a virtual SC when he's parked right in the middle of the track, I don't really know. Hopefully Maverick. Ooh, well, that's brave. He's driven straight through him. I tapped it. You're welcome to join me, Jav. You are welcome to join me. And Grimjaw Jagger uses this opportunity to pit very wise. He had some wing damage. Like the play, really like the play. I think it's sensible. Straps those hards on for a minimal time loss, and he's going to get out ahead. Oh, he gets ahead of Nils. Ah, Stephen with a drive-through. That's so unfortunate. And Stewie is going to make the most of it, and he just zips on overtake. And he had the DRS. I think that's a bit mean. I think it shouldn't be. I think it should be disabled for one lap. Not. I'm off to. Jav's off to have a drink. He's not interested in joining me. Fair play. George's still stuck behind United Bosnia. Oh, as Bosnia goes really wide, and George gets the move done. He just had to stay patient, and that's what he did. Very, very well played from him. Great effort. Crown plays in. Now, will Sowem... That's an early pit. Now, I'm wondering if... I'd love to see Sowem try and do a one-stop. I don't know if it's possible, but that would really spice things up. So I'm almost certain that you can't one-stop from there, from those softs. Quite a few people enter in the pits. Stevie and Stephen go in. Why have you staying out though too? This will be interesting. Bosnia and Jord. These are the guys we want to keep an eye on. It's imperative. Oh, and Crown Plays has had a blinder. He's come out in clean air ahead of Jord and United Bosnia. Original Civi has had a moment somewhere. He's lost out big. He's lost out really big. Really, really big. So, we've got some side by side here with Felipe and Alt Maverick. Alt Maverick. Ooh, Felipe very wide. Very, very wide. That's gonna give him a hell of a run though. He's gonna make the most of this. I think he's gonna do him under DRS. He's used that advantage of running wide. It's almost like a slingshot, and he's gonna get this move done. Incredible. Bit cheeky perhaps, but you know, he's done it. He's made the move. It's a separate corner. Don't think that's anything for the stewards to particularly look at, because it was just, yeah, I think that was a good move, to be fair. As Bosnia is, fair play to Bosnia, he's staying with George. I mean, it is for DRS. He just needs to stay in this DRS as much as he can. Oh, Maverick down the inside of Felipe, who runs very wide again, takes that outside line. They're going to go side by side. Felipe getting the advantage. Oh, what a move. Great move there on Alt Maverick. Love to see it. Stevie on those hards. United Bosnia dropped out of DRS. That could be crucial for his hopes of scoring really well, I feel. So, Sowem, these guys are going to try and do a one-stop. They must do. Atapo and Sowem and TTG King, you would assume, are definitely doing that one-stop. As we've got Crown Plays trying to chase them down. This is really riveting stuff. Oh, Crown Plays with a horrible cut. Looks like he's completely missing the track. Oh, Maverick doing really well, staying onto the back of Felipe. We've got Stevie staying with him, and on those hards he's going to be loving life. Formula Matt. Well, I'll tell you what, these guys at the back have done really well to keep themselves in contention. No one's out of it at all. There's Alt Maverick looking really, really, really tasty. Onto the back of Felipe, and I think he could probably do some damage here. But this gap from Crown Plays is really where it's at. This is the interesting point. It's now 5 seconds to TCG King. It's going to be coming down and down and down all the time. Utapa and TTG King do pit. Now that's interesting. We've got Sowem, who's definitely trying a one-stop. You wouldn't stay out for that long if you weren't. Hopefully his tyres don't go bang, and it can give us a little bit of an interesting race. Crown Plays sets the fastest lap. It's working out really nicely for him. He's got himself in clean air all through. It would have been problematic if he'd have come out behind Bosnia and George, but he hasn't, and he's played a blinder strategically as well. The two-stop strategy apparently is now open. I don't see that. I don't think you're right there, Mr. AWS, as per. And Utapa comes out in front of Jordan. That is crucial for him. Utapa getting through as well. And that is a massive, massive win for him. But I tell you what, Kylet does not. Nor does TTG King. And that is a disaster. As he gets through on United Bosnia. Or does he? Ooh, Bosnia. I feel like that was a battle we didn't need to fight particularly, for being completely honest. It's interesting keeping him behind though, because at the end of the day, he is still in their race to a degree. It's TTG King now, coming having a look on the outside of Kylet. Great moves here. And he gets it. I think he's going to get it, isn't he? Oh, the Haas has sent it. The Haas sent it. Bosnia has ended up dropping back. I hope he hasn't no, he hasn't damaged his wing. Jordan has absolutely sent it from nowhere and got past both of those guys. Really interesting. Civi's going to be coming up to the back of this, and that's not going to be pleasing him. Gap from Crown Place to Suem sits at 9 seconds. That's such a story in itself, and it's one that will play out towards the end of the race. Kylet really on the back, can't get anything done. Jordan is just turning into an absolute nightmare for these guys, and he's allowing his teammate, this is great teamwork, he's allowing his teammate to just get off into the distance, even if he might not have the pace. If he gets enough of a gap, it's going to be pretty academic, as Leon, the most fresh softs, has put himself again into a nightmare spot. These guys going side by side again. This could be a great move. He doesn't get it done, and Kylet stays out in front. And how George is staying out in front, this is incredible. Original Civi, he's got so much pressure from behind. Leon needs to remain patient. Felipe with 3 seconds. TTG King having a look here. This could be chaos. This could be free in a bed here. And Kylet gets it round. Fantastic. He can. George has kept it. I have no idea how that's happened. TTG King and Kylet just trading places, and they're battling themselves into oblivion here. Leon needs to be patient. He will be so annoyed he's stuck behind here, but I could see him snapping a wing very easily under frustration. There's a yellow. That is Alt Maverick. And he's still going. These guys, it's an absolute... This is a train and a half. George is hanging on for dear life. And it's just allowed Utapa to get further and further up the road. Crown Plays is now 6.4 behind Suem. This is marinating nicely. This is looking really, really positive. But yeah, it's a difficult situation right now in regards to the race. There's a bit of chaos as TTG King gets a 3-second time penalty. Leon right on the back. It's almost like these two groups of three are following around each other. Alt Maverick has DNF'd. I believe he's quit in the pit. Niels has come in. We've got Formula Matt quite far behind. Kylet right on the back of George. Can he get it done? George is fighting for his absolute life. And this time I think it's going to be done. Ooh, oh, and that's so unfortunate. They just collected TTG King with them. That is so unfortunate. Kylet and Jordan battling. TTG King was almost just an innocent bystander in all that, and he's been grossly affected from that as Suem does pit. So now he will have the chance of the undercut. Back on Crown Plays, to increase that net gap that he had. Leon running wide, and he's having problems behind Original Civi. Jorda's pit. Finally. Oh, TTG King will be absolutely furious. And I don't blame him. He was a complete innocent bystander and all that. United Bosnia. Round in 7th. TTG King's given up the ghost. He's quit. Not nice to see in some ways, but yeah, not the best from him at all. Leon right on the back, doing quite well here. Hopefully he can position himself in a nice place where he can actually get round the Original Civi and kind of carry on his position. So Suem is on that one stop. He's definitely on that one stop, and he's doing pretty damn well with it. As Leon right onto the back of Original Civi. Can he get it done now? This is quite a big DRS straight. He needs to get past. He's trying to get past. He's gonna send it. He's definitely gonna send it. And he gets past. He gets to the apex before Original Civi, and it was actually quite easily done, but actually overruns it. Ooh, and he's lucky to not end up in a wall when Original Civi gets back through. And United Bosnia is now with these guys, and he is loving life. He must be absolutely loving life. Jordan gets past Grimjaw Jagger. So let's look at that gap. It's 14.6 to Crown Plays. Now that will be interesting. It will need to not go up much further because Crown Plays is going to have those fresh set of mediums. You would have to favour him as favourite, but he is going to have to go back past Suem to get this race win, which always is going to be a fun situation. But Grimjaw Jagger looking on the back of Jord, but you would imagine Jord was going to get away on those fresher compound tyres. Formula Map with a 3-second time pen as Brandon shoots into the pits and gets it slowed down nicely. So Leon's going to try again. Going to have that DRS. It's not going to be useful in the sense of getting past him here, but if he can close it up and get it to a point where it's usable and sensible around the second part. It just seems to be big cuts everywhere. I don't know if it's just the camera angle, perhaps given a bit of a dodgy angle. Oh, and Leon with another wobble, and it's just cost him. It's cost him dearly, and I think that's pushed him out of DRS, and that could be Original Civi off into the sunset now. Brandon pits from quite. Oh no, sorry, he's just exited the pits, I should say. That gap is staying stagnant between Suem and Crown Plays. Suem will want it to come down because Crown Plays will pit at some point, and he'll have those fresh tyres, and he'll only have not much to make up as Jordan looking with Stewie here, and Jordan alongside. This is not a two in a bed kind of corner, and he gets it done. Great move. Great move there from Jordan as he moves up through the field. Still very intrigued by our man United Bosnia. United Bosnia up in 7th on those 13 lap old hards, doing really well. He's probably going to come out behind quite a few people, but he'll be in a good position with nice fresh tyres towards the end of the race to make some moves, and you would favour him to be able to do so. The gap is coming down between Suem and Crown Plays now. Those softs are not looking too hot. So, and that's what he needs. He really needs to really get that gap down, I would say, to less than 10 seconds realistically, in order for him to be able to hold off Crown Plays in the second half of this race, which isn't going to be easy. As Stevie now looking on the back of Jordan, he's not, I mean, you would fancy Jordan just being able to run off into the distance here. It's not going to be too easy with these DRS straights, but you would favour him to stay ahead. But then, you know, if you can stay in this train, it's sector 3 really that Jordan can make the most of his tyres. Because at the moment, in sector 2, you're kind of just a slave to these DRS straights, and there's nothing really you can do. As Bosnia now looking right onto the back of Leon, nothing doing at this point. Those softs are probably starting to go off a little bit though. A late safety car would really shake this up. Leon pits. I'm not a fan of them. Not a fan of them, and that releases Bosnia. Crown Plays has got a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings. Grim Jagger picks up a 3 seconds. Just going to see what the top two's pen situation is. Crown Plays has a pen. Suem doesn't. So, me talking about that 10-second gap, it is in effect. It is in effect. Oh, we've got some wing changes. I think Leon bust his wing. Didn't see that at all. And that's going to cost him. So that wasn't a scheduled pit stop, I don't think. He's going to have to make those mediums work very well towards the end of the race. Nils here in 13th. Very scrappy race from him. Not what he was after, but still plenty of time to go. Still have half the race to go. You never know, he could come back and produce quite a performance here. Crown Plays is in the pits. He makes his pit stop. Now what will the gap be? What will the gap be between him and Suem? That's really what I want to look at. Because I think it could well be in the region of about 8 to 9 seconds would be my suspicion. Could be a lot more. Could be quite a bit more. He gets released. Ooh, and is he going to get taken by Otapa? No, he's not. It's such a funny pit exit, that, isn't it? Because it looks tight and then they just release off and then kind of go away. So it's 6 seconds. That's not as much as I thought it was going to be. As George must have had damage. United Bosnia is playing an absolute blinder here. He is looking really good. He's going to come out behind a bit of a train, but he's going to have those better, fresher tyres. Felipe up into the top 10 now. Looking pretty good. As Nils right on the back of Leon. Nils is trying to scramble and keep up with him because he should get away a little bit now. Probably has a tyre advantage to a degree. Brandon looking really scrappy at the back. Fortunately for him, maybe he can pick off a few of these guys if they make some mistake and get a point. As Felipe looking quite tidy through there. I like that camera angle as well. Beautiful camera angle to show us that sweeping nature of that, pretty much that 360 corner. As Kylette now drops another 3 seconds into the bin. Leon on the back of Nils doing some stellar work. And you imagine if that train gets broken from Nils to Felipe, which it could well do fairly soon, he might be able to strike a little bit easier. Saying that, he's just dropped back. So here we are, Crown Plays is chasing down Suem, and they're both going to go to the end, you would suspect. An SC now would really mix it up, it really would. It would really help Bosnia. It would help Bosnia an absolute boatload as Grimjaw Jagger pits from those hards. That was not scheduled. I think he must have damage there, would be my suspicion. A bit of a train forming now from this Renault, from Stephen G to Felipe and Nils. Looking really, really positive for a good scrap in the midfield. Crown Plays needs to get a move on. It's a beautifully poised because he's got 3 seconds, Suem does not. So it is lovely. It's really nicely poised. Stephen's got those horribly old mediums, and he's battling Felipe, who's got those fresh mediums, and Nils with those pretty warm but softer compound tyres. So it's a real mix as Felipe gets past Stephen. Now, can Nils, that's the question. Nils will need to get past if he wants to do much with this race. He's looking at it. He's going to have the inside line. He's going to have the apex line. Stephen thinks better of it. Oh, he's barely get around that corner as well. It's such a horrible corner to go too wide in. And Nils will go up and chase Philippe. Bit of a lock up there from Nils. This is an interesting camera angle. It just shows you how much you're having to thread the eye of the needle through Sector 3. And you get to this bit and you're almost relieved. You're relieved because you can see some fresh air, not just harsh, unforgiving walls. And yeah, Nils looking very, very racy, but he's battling against those tyres now at this point. They won't be looking too healthy as we have Formula Matt round. Is that going to do anything? It's not. Oh, no wing. Absolutely none. Completely ripped off. And that'll be him coming in probably for some mediums, I believe. Leon on the back of Stephen. Nils has got away. So Stephen, that's interesting. Stephen obviously has come at some point back through Leon. So yeah, oh, there's yet Formula Matt has retired. He's given up the ghost. Nils on the back of Felipe. Nils around the outside. He's got that DRS. It's going to be unfightable, unfortunately, for Felipe. Leon gets past Stephen as well. 2 moves into that corner in the space of about 10 seconds. As Crown Play's really now putting pressure on Suem. Original Civi speeding into the pit lane, unfortunately for him. Philippe with a 3-second time pen. United Bosnia just keeping it clean, keeping it nice and smooth out there. Beautiful. Suem Crown Plays an Utapa. Utapa just kind of getting round, I feel. More to, you know, just trying to get to the end and secure that podium, which I believe, I'm pretty confident he's going to do. So I think Kylet's definitely going to have to pit, and that's his nearest rival. So it'll be interesting because Bosnia will be on those softs as well as Kylet. Bosnia's probably too far back to realistically do anything, as Original Civi pops in behind Leon and Philippe. So the hunter becomes the hunted. Stephen back out, and he gets out ahead of Grimjaw Jagger, and he's got those fresh compounds on, so he's going to look to kind of chase these guys down and do something. Civi, I mean, he's going to have a world of things to do here. He's going to have to try and get as many points as he can and protect them. Protect his points total coming out of this race. He's looking good for a dive down the inside. He gets the move completed before the apex, and that is the key for that corner. And then he just drives off into the sunset, nothing doing. Kylet is in. Crown Plays is now caught right up to the back of Suem, so we'll stay with this battle for the lead. Crown Plays now with the DRS. Nothing doing into that corner. But you fancy him now to get it done down here. You really do, unless something crazy happens. Crown Plays right on the back. This should be a slam dunk. I can't see. Ooh, there seemed to be a bit of. Ooh, I didn't like it almost felt like 2 moves there for me from Suem. And he's going to have to try and chase onto the back of him. Those tyres will start to go at some point. It's not necessarily a slam dunk that is over, as Original Civi puts the move on Felipe down the first DRS straight, which is a little bit unusual. I have to say, I'm not a fan of this track, really. There's only real kind of... The DRS overtaking zones are very, 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 very OP. And it makes very little sense to go for an overtake unless someone makes a big mistake elsewhere. it's not the most fun, I think, from a spectator point of view anyway, and I do fear for it on the actual real calendar, as Sewem does stay within that DRS. That's so crucial. He needs to do that as much as he can to win this race. Just as I say that, he nearly drops out. And he does drop out, so that's really pivotal for him. He needs to... Does he actually have it? Does he? No, he does not have it. He needs to drain it a little bit. He's catching up to the back. He's running lower wings than WC Crown Plays. His original Civi gets past Stewie. United Bosnia finally pits. He's going to go for those soft runs. And Sewem, does he have the DRS? He should do. He should do. He does. Crucial. He's got much lower wings. He's got drastically lower wings. Where does United Bosnia come out? Does he come out? He will come out ahead of his teammate quite comfortably. He's going to have to chase these guys down. I'm really looking forward to seeing that develop. It's Philippe on the back of Stewie now. Sewem's done incredibly well, and this is just, it's interesting because the tyres in front of him are going to start to degrade, and it could mean that he actually starts coming back on Crown Plays a little bit. Philippe really with that adventurous line through that corner, and he takes the inside line and he gets it done. What a move! That was an incredible move on Stewie. Incredible move. Really like that. That was a joy to watch. Probably overtaking the day, using the track, using the inside line, almost like the inside of an athletics track, taking the shortest route to the goal and really having it pay dividends. So fair play to him. Really liked that. Sewem, he loses so much time through this bit. You can tell he's definitely running lower wings. He seems to understeer into oblivion compared to WCR Crown Plays. But then you watch this gap come down. It just starts to come back on itself. So it's not over. Definitely not over. Stewie still catching on to the back of Felipe. The grid is a little bit stagnant right now. United Bosnia's gone on mediums. I didn't see that, and that's unfortunate for me because I think he could have made a great fist if he was on those softs. Might have been a slip on the mechanic side. I'd still rate him to be catching Stevie and Leon. Leon might well get stuck behind Stevie as Kyle. I think he's had more than one pen, the lad, and that's not ideal for him. The front two are in a level, they're in a class above, aren't they? Look, they're driving, halfway around the track compared to everyone else, and it's a real pleasure to see these two kind of battle it out. Wish it was a little bit tighter, I suppose, but they are in their own little battle, and watch those tyres will start to really factor in as Nils with an incredible run on Jord. Jord's got absolutely no chance of defending that. Ooh, saying that, it was a bit close for comfort there from Nils. He won't have enjoyed that too much. Brandon's going to have to pit again, surely. You can't take those to the end. That would be ludicrous. Knowing what the deg's like on this track. I think he's probably gone over the prescribed limit as to what I'd probably recommend having them on, to be honest. He's had them on 8 laps. This is his 9th. I'd say that's about the max you can get out of them. Jord sticking with him by that useful drag reduction system as Bosnia really catch up to the back of Leon, who himself is catching up to the back of Stewie, so we're going to see an interesting battle. Now Sewem is losing time. He is losing time off the back of Crown Plays, but what I can tell you, I think the overlap is just going to be enough. I think if he keeps his head, he doesn't make any mistakes, he is going to win this race by virtue of a penalty for Crown Plays. Now Brandon, right onto the back of Nils, and staying with him, and that is good news for him because he's on those very old tyres. I think he will come out net last at some point, unfortunately for him, but hopefully he can strap on another pair of those softs as Bosnia goes for a nice move here. He'll get that collected before the DRS zone. He wants to have a really good section here so that he can gap Leon so that he doesn't have to battle him back down that line. I don't think it's going to occur though. Leon looks to me to have a slightly worse exit, but he's going to have a big chance by virtue of that DRS system. Really too close to call up front in my eyes. I think even if it gets over... Oh, hang on, this gap is getting huge. The gap grew really big there, and I have no idea particularly how. Leon has now gone out of DRS from United Bosnia, who is free to hunt down Stevie. If you get past him, he could even potentially catch Philippe for a 6th place, which is incredibly good going from 12th on the grid. This is not over. I tell you, this is really not over. You think past that 3-second gap it would be, but the problem is the tyre differentials. Those mediums will start to degrade ever so slightly. And I think it could well be... I think it's a flip. Stephen gets past Jordan, who has had a real bad incident. He flies into the pits. That may well be it for him. That may well be a retirement. Bosnia right onto the back of Stevie already. I mean, that is incredible. If he can get it done here, I'll be mighty impressed. I don't think he's going to be able to. I think he's going to have to sit behind him, but I can't see any alternative. Jordan does stick the softs back on. He's going to have another run at it. Fair play to him. Yeah, those hards are cooked. Bosnia almost in the danger of getting too good of an exit. This will be the lightest overtake, I think, today. Protects the inside, Bosnia. Didn't think that was overly necessary. I think the move was pretty much done already. Leon picking up another 3 secs. It's not going to help him. And now we get to see United Bosnia try and catch on to the back of Felipe. This gap is now 3.2, but it seems to be staying at that level. Crown Plays, did he get DRS? I think Crown Plays got DRS off the back of Jordan. I think that's really affected it, and that is really unfortunate for Suem. I mean, you know, in the interest of fairness, I would quite like to see Jordan. He's probably not going to get caught though, because he's on those softs. If Jordan gave it back to Suem, I think that would probably be the interest of fairness. But it could actually be inadvertently the man in 14th that decides this race, which is incredible. He definitely got DRS because the gap went right up. And potentially Brandon could also be the guy that ends up affecting this and giving another DRS to Crown Plays. Really unusual situation here, one that I'm particularly enjoying watching. Yeah, so if anyone is watching and they're keen to let me know, who do you think wins from here? Because I tell you what, it's not that easy. Suem is coming back on Crown Plays from outright pace. Really tough to know. Civi catching up to the back of Kylet. I believe Kylet's got quite a few pens, so I don't think it's going to matter too much. But he would like to get him done on the actual track. We all like to do that. There's nothing worse than sitting behind. Doesn't make you feel good. Suem is coming into his own now. He really is. He's turning it up. He's looking good. He's looking good for this win in my eyes, even though he's 3 seconds out of that delta. And if he can just catch Jordan, probably signed, sealed and delivered. We're back in that 3 second window now, lads. We are back in it. We're back out of it again. It's so tight. This is going to be a real fun end. As Niels is on the back of Leon, who is on the back of Stevie. Stevie's on those cooked tyres. He's going to struggle. I think Bosnia's had it. Bosnia's not catching Felipe, so that's interesting. that gap is remaining stagnant, Leon will have enough pace here to get Stewie. The only question is will Nils also be able to follow through? I tell you what, Nils has caught Leon napping. And he is actually on the back of this. Stewie. Ooh, this could be chaos. Stewie manages to keep it. And Nils gets through. You would have thought Leon would have absolutely had that there, but he hadn't. An original civvy on the back of Kylette. The gap is 3.1. And it is just hovering around that area. This is incredibly tense towards the finish. And this is delivered as I thought it might, with them doing a 2 and 1 stop each. Nils looking really racy, really loving his line through sector 3, looking very quick. Should have no problems getting past Stewie at some point, but the big problem he has is there's not much time left in this race, so he needs to get it done sooner rather than later. Original civvy now following on the back of Kylette, and that should be it. That should be nice and easy. Jord is... What's going on here? Is Jord is hanging on the back of him. Leon in 10th. What can he do? He'll be furious with having a nap there. And Nils is going to get past Stewie, and the roles are reversed. Nils was not caught napping. That was great. Ooh! Bit aggressive maybe, but good move. And Stewie is moved out of the way, and Leon gets through too. Kylette has had original civvy get past him. Right, this is simple. This is really simple. The gap is 3.1. If it's more than 3, it goes to Crown Plays. If it's less than 3, it goes to Soem. Oh, it's gone to 2.9. We're going to ride on board here with Crown Plays. It's back up to 3.1. Soem right behind this section looks to have quite a good exit from here. Gets the power down. Give it everything, lads. Give it absolutely everything, because you have to. Soem on the back. The gap is so perilously close. It's so close. It's down to 2.8, but it's hovering around. It's literally a time trial. It's a 1/10th time trial to go through. It's looking close. I think Soem is going to do it here. Crown Plays, you've got hers to use. Get it used. I don't understand. He sat there with 20% of it that he could have used at some point, and it may have cost him the race as he takes the line. But Soem will win this race. What a fantastic battle. Well done to these guys. An absolute privilege to watch that unfold, and it unfolded just as I thought it might. Well done to Soem, and Crown Plays doesn't quite get the win, unfortunately for him. Utapa, very quiet race. Haven't had much to from me in regards to comms, but kudos to him. He was outpaced and outclassed realistically by the guys ahead, but he kept his head cool. He's managed to get third. George has crossed the line in 14th by nature of that situation of being lapped. As Utapa comes over, I thought he was going to bin it there for a sec. Original civvy does get past Kylette, and he will get 4th unless there's a weird one. Kylette, they had the same amount of pens in the end, which is interesting. Bosnia has caught up to the back a little bit of Philippe. I don't know the pen situation. I think Philippe might have 1 or 2. If Bosnia has kept this clean, which I think he might have, he does jump him. Very good result from United Bosnia. Probably might well be my driver of the day, as Nils comes over the line in 8th, Leon in 9th, Stewie jumps in by virtue of pens in 10th, Stephen runs over the line in 11th. Fair play to Grimdraw Jagger, not the debut he would have wanted, but seems to be a clean driver who knows what he's doing out on track, so a welcome addition to this. And he's an 88, so for that means he might well be the same age as me, unless that's pure coincidence, so kudos to him. What a race at the end there. Incredible. Oh, look at that dance from the AlphaTauri man. Great result from him. It looks like Thierry Henry, doesn't he? Fantastic result, and I really liked his dogged determination running through the field there. Great effort from him. I don't think Crown Plays is particularly enjoying it. The one thing I would add though, Crown Plays, he got that DRS help from Jordan, which Soem didn't get, so I think it would have been a bit of a travesty if Soem didn't win that in the end, for being honest. But so there we go, we have it as Soem, Crown Plays, Utapa, Original Civi in 4th, Kylet in 5th, my driver of the day in 6th, United Bosnia, Felipe N in 7th, INL Nils in 8th, Stevie in 9th, Stephen G in 10th, Leon in 11th, Grimjal Jagger, a South African in 12th, Brandon in 13th, Jordan JT, a Lebanese driver, not seen that before, kudos to you my man, Formula Matt 22, TTG King in 16th, Alt Maverick in 17th, and Jav in Barcelona's favourite position, 8. That's it from me. I hope you all enjoyed. I enjoyed watching the end of that profusely. It was a great ending to that race. And I would just like to thank all of you that watched this back, all of you that watched it live, and yeah, you will be tuning in next week to round 3, which I believe will be Bahrain. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm guessing that might be the case. So that is a treasure. Enjoy that one.